Now, let's get down to something that is not as fun to talk about as always saying yes to your partner.
Okay.
We talked about kids a little bit in the past. We have a blended family that works out well. It's tough. If you need some, we're not qualified to give much advice, but I think in raising a blended family, we're pretty good at.
Yeah, we got that right.
We got that right. Okay. When it comes to children, I have to call them children because my great grandmother said that kids were billy goats or goats. So she always called the children.
She did not like the kids word.
She didn't like the kids word. So when it comes to children and education, how important is education for your children?
I think it's very important, but I think the most important thing is that education is something that you're actually going to use.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think going to get an education for the sake of education makes no sense.
Now, by the way, we have 3 in college because
makes no sense.
We have 3 in college.
Right college, yes.
Because Trevor's taking college classes. So I totally agree. I think education is vitally important if it's going to be something that you're going to use. And here's the other part. How do you feel about debt in a college education?
I personally had debt and had a student loan and paid it off myself and don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think in our situation, where you're going with this, I want to be able to pay for our children's education as long as they are doing their best, performing. Now, I'm not paying for anybody that's not going to class and failing out and not giving it their best. I mean, it'd be cut off immediately. But because ours take it very seriously and have excellent grades, I'm all for helping them. But it didn't hurt me to have debt to go.
No, so if there's such thing as a good debt, I would say that a debt for an education is a good thing. Now, it's very dangerous. I see people all the time, pulling a lot of credit, being in the car business in the past. I would see people with just tons of debt. I mean, I'm talking about people with bachelor degrees in low paying jobs that had $150,000 of student debt. Now
that is unnecessary.
That's totally unnecessary. But there is such thing that's good and there is. If there's such thing as good debt, then debt for an education is not a bad idea.
Right. Those people were on the 6 or 7 year plan that's supposed to take 4.
Right. They're just going to, and now I went to college for a very short time. I had a very little student loans, but from what I understand, you can not only they'll give you a check.
They'll give you way more money than you need.
They'll give you way more money than you need.
Way more money than you need. And when you're young, you don't realize the impact that has on you. We talked to Cooper the other night about it. He was like, should I get this? And we're like, no,
yeah.
no.
Well, exactly. And that's because we're blessed and we're very fortunate. We're in a situation where we can decide, since, like you said, since they are doing well and they're focused on their education and their grades, that we can actually pay for that for them. So they're not strapped with debt, because debt's bad. I mean, to have to come back and work for something 20 years, I mean, that, it's not the best case scenario.
But a lot of people have so much because they really don't need they don't need the money. So that's not for their college education. That's to have a good time while they're wherever they are. And they're not responsible enough when you're that age to say no to all that money.
Sarah Stalker has a very good comment there. Click on that for us, Smith.
I can't see.
Sarah Stalker said, it's extremely important. Don't marry an idiot. So I think let's stop the show right here and say that may be the best advice that we've given on this show so far. Yeah. Don't marry an idiot. Sometimes you make mistakes.
Sometimes you don't know they're idiots right away, though.
Sometimes you make mistakes. It's okay. But anyway, so back to the student debt thing. Here's what I don't want parents to feel guilty about. Okay. If you are not in a situation where you can afford to pay for your child's education,
I was about to go there,
then don't do it.
We know people that struggle to pay for it, and they sacrifice while their child's having a great time at college and they're eating ham sandwiches, so they don't have that. That's not when I think it's good. No. Mine wasn't paid for.
No, and now college is more expensive now than it was, when we were in school, and the price is going up. I think actually with all this pandemic that's going on and people not actually being able to be in classrooms, the prices might start coming back down. I hope that's true. So. I hope that's true as well. But if you are, this is my 2 cents worth. If you have a child that's in high school or going to college, and you are not yet in a financial situation where you can take care of yourself and have cash on hand, you do not need to go broke putting your child through college. No. That's really not helpful. No. You might think you're helping them, but the best thing you can do for them is make them do hard things. Yeah. Figure it out.
Well, and talking about Trevor, every class that he takes took last year and this year, and Case and Cooper paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to pay anything if you do it while you're in high school.
So if you're in high school in Georgia and you can take college classes, all the classes you take are free.
All free, books, everything.
Is there any benefit to not taking as many classes as you can, college classes as you can while you're in high school?
Only negative thing I heard was like Trevor having too many hours to be a JUCO baseball player. That's the only thing I can think of. And then somebody said that wasn't even true. So I'm really not sure there is a negative side other than dashing through life real fast, having a 2-year degree when you get out of high school. But, it's paid for.
Yeah, I think I'd dash right on through there if I was able to
not have to pay for it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Sands had a almost 2-year degree when she graduated high school.
That's pretty wild.